We are in Kilkenny, Ireland, home of tons of medieval historical sites and some other interesting places too. We're going to be getting our start today at Kilkenny Castle.
How many places are we going to be seeing here in Kilkenny?
We're going to be trying to see 24 places within 24 hours because that's all the time we have here.
Are all of them medieval?
All but 2.
Our starting point, Kilkenny Castle, is located at one end of the medieval mile. St. Canice Cathedral is at the other end. We'll be seeing that tomorrow. Can you repeat to me, how many places are we going to?
24.
And we only have 24 hours.
Yes. Our tour starts at 11 and we are going to end this journey by 11 o'clock tomorrow because we have a whole new thing to get to tomorrow afternoon.
She just plans too many things. Way too many things.
There's so many wonderful things to do here.
I know, but there's only so much time in the day.
One of the things we've learned while doing tours of different locations is it's always better to get the guided tour. Kilkenny Castle was originally designed and owned by William Marshall, the best knight that ever lived. He's best known for unhorsing Richard the Lionheart in battle. The castle was purchased by James Butler in the 1390s and remained in the Butler family for 550 years.
There have been many additions and renovations to the castle over the years. The picture gallery wing is one of the most dramatic. What do you think was the coolest thing?
Oh, so much. Well, I was really shocked to learn, although I feel like I need to reread up on it, the connection between like King Henry VIII, Anne Boleyn, Queen Elizabeth, and the Duke of Ormond. And because when you think about it, like it was during Queen Elizabeth's reign that there was the big battle in Kinsale that set all of the stuff, or a lot of things in motion. Not all of it, set some.
What I thought was cool was a great Irish elk.
Oh, that was
I didn't know they were that big.
Yeah.
Right. First thing out of 24 things. It took over an hour. Time to eat now. Where are we gonna eat?
Blah, blah, blah.
No, seriously.
Blah, blah, blah.
Just a little travel tip, if you're in Ireland, try these chips.
So I'm trying out the Christmas chicken. It has cranberry sauce, stuffing, chicken, looks like all kinds of goodness. Super fresh on the chicken. I think there's like sage in the stuffing that really is coming through. And I love cranberry sauce and chicken. It just, so good.
You love Christmas.
Yes, and I love Chris.
Chicken club. It's a club sandwich. White bread, clock. It's a club sandwich. It's pretty good. I'm gonna get it.
Okay, that's fantastic. But we have so many sights to see. I really think we need to like get going. I know you'd like to relax, but
So I don't know if hurling is medieval. It might be. I'm just going to say probably it was invented way back there. Hurling is the sport in Ireland, and they've got this sculpture up here honoring it. Pretty cool, huh? And if you don't know what hurling is, it's one of the fastest sports in the world, they say. And it's like got this hockey type stick and a ball that looks like a big baseball, maybe even like a softball. They wear helmets, they smash into each other. So that's 2 things down? No, 3 things. 3 things down.
no, the sandwiches don't count. We've only gotten 2 things done.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's why we have to move, honey.
That wasn't a medieval place, what, right?
Well, and it's not a site. Like, we're focusing on the sites. We're also sharing the food stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But the 24 things are all sites.
All right, well, we need fuel for it, so.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's go.
The The Duke of Ormond back in 1790 had these stables built. The castle yard, also known as the stable yard, is now home to the National Design and Craft Gallery. I had no idea I would be seeing this in the horse stables. The Black Cat. Here's the National Design and Craft Gallery that's in the stables. While we can't go in today, peek through the windows. It's stunning. We've maybe spent more time than I thought we were going to here. We should get going.
I'm trying to take it in. I'm being a tourist.
No time, no time.
That's what it's always like. Run, run, run. What's the next place we're going to?
The Butler House and Gardens. It's really a hotel right now, but it used to be a dower house for the Butler family.
Ah, just the Butler family?
Correct.
So a dower house is a place that the widow can stay when the guy dies, right? The guy
Correct.
dies.
And usually a dower house would be located either near or within the estate.
So this whole thing would be just for one lady?
For one woman, after her husband died, her kids are raised, well, basically the kids have the house now because she had to make room for the next generation, leave Kilkenny Castle and come over here to spend her remaining days at a smaller residence.
Poor lady.
I don't think I'd mind it too much having this kind of a house.
Next, what's next?
Oh, next up is Talbot Tower.
And what's Talbot Tower?
One of the cool things about Kilkenny is that in medieval times, it was a walled city. So we're going to see a part of that remaining wall. Let's go.
Nothing cooler than an old wall. So this was built in 1270 to defend the city, Kilkenny, from people trying to come in and attack it. Also, it was a gateway that if you wanted to come in and sell your goods and stuff like that, you had to pay a toll to go through. So it protected people, but it also was a kind of a boundary to say, hey, if you want to be part of the party, you got to pay.
Is that like when you pay for your beer cup?
It's exactly the same. Exactly. Well, this is history, Chris+Melissa style. You know what was the downfall of walls like these?
What was the downfall, Chris?
It was gunpowder. When gunpowder came along, cannons could just shoot through these walls. That's why most of them didn't survive, because they just eroded away because nobody used them anymore. Oh, hey, honey. Kilkenny was only sieged twice by Oliver Cromwell and some other dude before that. Oliver. We keep hearing his name all over the place here.
We learned today that he once canceled Christmas.
What kind of D-bag cancels Christmas? Uh-oh. Honey, I think I found something that makes all of your research obsolete.
Oh, whatever. It does not. I picked the best 24.
But there's 28.
No, but we can't go to all of them. We only have 24 hours in a day. If someday a 28-hour day is made, I will make it a goal that we go to 28 locations within 28 hours. But until the day gets expanded to a full 28, we're sticking with 24, sir. So the Shee Alms House was founded in 1582 by the Shee family to house 12 poor persons of Kilkenny. It's currently under construction, as you can see, but here's what it would normally look like.
So is it kind of like a homeless shelter of the day?
Pretty much. It was. There were a couple of different ones around Kilkenny. We'll be checking out one of them tomorrow. Okay, I'm super excited that we ran into this cartoon saloon mural of the Wolfwalkers. The Wolfwalkers is a cartoon that was nominated for an Oscar. A lot of people felt that it really should have gotten it. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, and they are based right here in Kilkenny.
Who knew? Well, they knew, and the people in Kilkenny have known for a while, but now we know.
And I watched part of it with our granddaughter, but then Melissa put the kibosh on it.
She's only 4. It's meant for like 8-year-olds. It was really interesting, and she was totally intrigued, which was making me a little nervous.
There are tons of things I love about Ireland, but just the old cities and walking through these little narrow alleyways, it's so exciting.
Behind us is a Tholsel. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. My apologies. It's basically a toll house or a tax house, and it was built back in the late 1700s for those purposes. Can't go in it. We can just look at it. It's a cool looking building.
Oh, I bet you if we said, hey, we have some taxes we want to pay.
Oh, I don't want to pay more taxes. No, thank you.
You said Toll House.
No cookies, Chris. There are no cookies. Was I right? Is that what you were going for?
You know me so well.
No Keebler elves either.
That back there was a butter slip.
Right. It was built back in the 1600s, and it was, I think it just happened to be the place where butter was sold because it stayed nice and cool enough right there.
Did you ever think you'd see a butter slip before?
I didn't even know a butter slip was a thing.
No, neither did I. I'm not saying one dad joke right here. Isn't that awesome?
On to the next before he gets tempted.
Butter slip. Melissa booked a guided tour for us at the St. Mary's Medieval Mile Museum. The church is one of Ireland's finest examples of a medieval church. St. Mary's Cruciform Church was built in the 13th century. There's 800 years of history in this place.
If you ever have the chance to do a guided tour at St. Mary's Medieval Mile Museum here in Kilkenny, do it.
So much history. It's like I'm having a hard time even trying to extract the stories. It's going to take a few days to go through it.
I think maybe we'll need to taste some Smithwicks and chat and think things through. Sometimes it helps to have like a pint of beer or something to go, oh, okay, that's how, was it really like that? Just to find out that like Oliver Cromwell didn't do as much damage to this city because the merchants paid him off to go down the road. And that happened multiple times in this city's history where, oh, you're invading, want some money? Here you go. Go away now. We'll just make that money back a little later.
Yeah. And that's why there's so much history here, because all the things didn't get destroyed. That's why it's so medieval. And that must be why they have so many pubs in Ireland. So you can go to the pub and think about all the history, because there's a lot of it.
The Hole-in-the-Wall Bar is housed in the oldest townhouse in Kilkenny. It was built in 1582 and it was owned by the Archers, which we just learned about while we were at the Medieval Mile Museum.
So it hasn't always been a bar. It's just a bar that opened in a townhouse.
That was the oldest townhouse in Kilkenny. No, Kilkenny, which was the oldest townhouse in Kilkenny. Or the oldest surviving townhouse in Kilkenny.
I think you're drunk on history.
I might be. Behind us is what's known as Grace's Old Castle. Back in 1210, it was built by William le Gras. And then in the 1560s, while it was under the ownership of James Grace, it was sold to the state. It became a jail, and then later on a courthouse. It's still a courthouse, a working courthouse. It's been built onto and all of that. So, you know, it doesn't look very 1200s at the moment. It had an update or two.
This is the Rothe House. Not Rothe House, the Rothe House. Now, what I know about this place is this is a place that Melissa wants to go to really bad and take a tour. But we don't have time because we're on a medieval mile tour, 24 places in 24 hours, and Melissa's the one that set it up. So, but anyway, there it is.
Doesn't it look gorgeous? And there's supposed to be gardens that have just recently been completed that you can go and look at.
What this would show is what life was like back in like the 1500s, where in the front would be retail spots, behind that would be to where the people lived that had the money, and then behind that would be a garden, and then behind that would be a spot for more people to live, I think. And
Right, the servants' quarters.
hey, I'm drunk in history.
And yes, I absolutely would love to go there just to see what life was like during that time, and also it just looks gorgeous. Kyteler's Inn belonged to Dame Alice Kyteler. And she is the legendary witch of Kilkenny. Here's the thing, is she had 4 husbands, all of them wealthy. She came from a wealthy family herself though. Now, as you can imagine, it's not like a woman just has 4 husbands, they have to go someplace, so each of them died. So one husband after the next died. And on her 4th husband, her stepchildren went to the church and said, we think she has performed sorcery or witchcraft on our father. So she was tried for witchcraft, found guilty, as was her assistant, who we saw a picture of earlier. And she was scheduled to be flogged and burned at the stake. Somehow she managed to escape. I'm just so amazed by the story of Dame Alice Killer.
Bitches.
Poor lady. Probably not a witch at all.
But she could have been a murderer.
Well, yeah, but not a witch. I mean, many men have been murderers throughout time, but not accused of being a witch, not like burned at a stake or said to be burnt at a stake.
It was medieval times, so dying, it was a pretty common thing.
Well, and as we just learned over at the Medieval Mile Museum, the life expectancy here in Kilkenny was 35 years of age in the Middle Ages. Like, people didn't live much beyond that, and I think her husband was in his 40s, so... Behind us, you can see the very top of St. Francis Abbey. It is in ruins, and we don't seem to have a way to really access it at all. Definitely medieval.
Definitely, that counts, honey. It looks like Smithwicks, but it's pronounced Smithwicks. Okay, we learned that from Irish people. Apparently, they've been making it here in Kilkenny since 1710, but there's some talk that maybe it started way back in the 1300s. So hopefully in this tour we're gonna learn, but it is medieval.
Let's go drink some beer.
Yes.
In 1710, on the ruins of St. Francis Abbey, where monks brewed beer back in the 13th century, John Smithwick began brewing beer.
Here, there's no hops in the beer here.
At the time, due to penal law, Catholics were forbidden from running business.
So you're going to have to spend the whole day turning that wheel, right? And all you're doing is pressing that guy that didn't fix the first motor, right? It's not easy, is it?
No.
Can you imagine doing that for 8 hours? Or it could even be up to a week or 2 weeks if they have to get a part come from England or something.
The tour included a chance to stir the mash, smell the hops, and learn all about the production of Smithwick's beer.
Have they get a dough or bread smelled for? Coffee again? You get coffee?
Time to taste.
What a great tour. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we learned quite a lot, although it's so hard to remember all of the details. But indeed, brewing beer started here before the 1300s, so...
By the monks.
It's medieval.
I was actually kind of bummed to learn that they don't make Smithwick's here anymore because they grew too big and there was no place to expand. So now it's actually done up in Dublin. And actually Guinness bought Smithwick's.
Red ale, pale ale, and Kilkenny, and let it settle. Enjoy.
Melissa's not a big beer drinker. You think you're going to be able to finish all this?
I might need your help. What's challenging for me on it is I don't really have a really great way of explaining the flavor profile because I haven't drank enough beers to describe it. You might have to...
I don't know how to do it either, and I've been drinking beer for a long time.
We'll just have to keep practicing.
To me, it's like this. Do I like it or do I not? But I suppose, do I really, really like it? It can be like that. This is a red ale.
Yes.
I've had this before. It's delicious. But I've never had it here in Kilkenny. Smithwick's was awesome. The tour was a lot of fun. The beer was a lot of yumminess. And I learned a lot.
Likewise. Shall we thumb up a bump it?
Let's do it. I I learned there's a Kilkenny, Minnesota.
Oh my gosh, we have to go to Kilkenny, Minnesota the next time we're in Minnesota. This must happen. We had no idea. And I've lived in Minnesota my whole entire life. Well, until the past few years. Thumb up about being the Smithwicks and learning about Kilkenny.
Yes.
We need to get to the hotel. We have to check in. We've got to get our luggage from our vehicle to the hotel. And we have dinner reservations to get to.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot.
It's been a very full day.
It has, but Kilkenny rocks. Good morning.
It is time to get some coffee. We are heading to Cafe Le Coco. It has rave reviews. I hope it's amazing. Cafe Le Coco opened its doors back in 2010. Their baked goods are made fresh in-house each morning. They're award-winning and highly rated online.
A Cafe Le Coco blueberry scone, warmed up, breakfast time, hungry. There's coconut. I taste coconut. That's a good scone.
I am so ready for this. I love scones. They're like one of my favorite things on the planet, and this is like the most off the hook looking scone I've had since we've been here. It's like the frosting's just right. It's not like overpoweringly sweet, but it is sweet. It's tasty and it's fantastic, but we need to hurry up and eat these because we still have I think it's 10 things to check out today.
Not easy. 9.
Let's hurry up. Cafe Le Coco, amazing.
Thumb up a bumps, big time. Sorry, my hands are messy. Bump.
It's a coffee cup up a bump.
Bump. There's like 3 of those. Woo.
We're standing on St. John's Bridge, and on either side of us, we would be seeing ghosts come up if this were a misty morning. Instead, we're just hearing loud buses and trucks.
I think that the ghost would be scared away by how loud it is. I'm just saying. It's a busy, busy little town.
So here's the thing. There is a bridge down the river that broke apart in a storm. People stood on this bridge watching the debris float toward them, and then one of the larger things of debris knocked over the bridge.
Well, okay, so they weren't actually standing on this very bridge. They were
Right.
standing on a bridge that was there before. Anyway, a lot of people lost their lives in medieval times, and now this place is haunted.
But we need to keep going because it is like we only have an hour left, and we have probably we have 8 more things to see. No, we have an hour to see 7 things before we get to St. Canice's.
Ugh.
This is Fotra. It's a national monument. I'm guessing its age is old, and we might need to use it because we're running out of time. It wasn't actually on my list.
It's still cool to see.
Behind us is the Black Abbey. It was founded in 1225. It is the longest original established foundation of all the Irish priories.
Are we going in?
I don't think we can. We will be going into a church today, though.
All right, next.
Next up is the Black Freren Gate. Good news, the gate that's way back there is actually Black Freren Gate, so we do have one more really done.
I'm taking shots of old buildings just in case they are medieval, because they could count.
I believe that's the abbey that we learned about in the Smithwick experience, where the monks first were making the brews.
I do think you're right, honey. See that super cool old bridge? It's Green's Bridge. The original Green's Bridge collapsed and took out John's Bridge. So they built this in 1766, and look, it's still doing its thing. There's like cars driving over it.
I was just going to say one thing I feel we both have noticed is that the walking paths and the streets here are so nice. It's a very walkable city. Sure, there are still the cobblestones and all that, but it's not nearly as perilous as some other spots that we've been walking around in Ireland.
And there's so much medieval stuff everywhere you look. Stuff we're not even talking about in this video.
Behind me is a Kilkenny World War I memorial. There are over 827 names on it. The youngest name on it is of a 14-year-old boy. Not sure what the oldest is on it. But wow, 827 people from the Kilkenny area died in action in World War I. So I believe this is Ladies' Chapel, which is part of St. John's Priory, and it was from the 1200s, I believe. Isn't it impressive?
All of this is impressive.
It's just stunning looking at all of this.
That is so wild that there's a repair shop inside a medieval structure of some sort. Wow. So this is Butler Gallery. It was originally built as an alms house, like a house for poor people, right? Like a homeless shelter.
In 1818, yes.
But prior to that, this was the location of St. John's Hospital in the 1200s. The 1200s. It's an art gallery now. We don't have time to go in and check out the beautiful art, but maybe someday.
We have to keep moving. I wish we could. We're seeing little bits and pieces because we have to come back.
And we're hoping that you guys are inspired to come here because it is a cool little town.
So nice.
A cool little old town. 22 of 24 places. Checked right off our list.
Guys, I'm so excited. We're actually going to make this happen. This morning when I woke up, I didn't think we had a chance.
It's a fast walking legs. That's what did it. Good job, hon. Let's go. Okay, so apparently that old looking place, that very medieval looking place, apparently that's not even on our list. It's like just in the middle of town. And that's not on our list either.
So Maudlin Castle, which is really pretty much a tower at this point, cannot be entered, but it's worth a visit because of its history. It's a 16th century tower house that back in the 1200s, in an earlier version, was apparently a hospital for lepers. And Maudlin is Irish for Magdalene, and Mary Magdalene, Saint Magdalene, was often associated with leper hospitals.
What I think is wild is, look, there's people that live like 50 feet from this. They can just look out their window and see a medieval castle.
We only have one place left. It's time to head over to St. Canice's Cathedral. I'm excited. We're doing this. This is the first time I've set up this type of a mission for us, and we're achieving it.
I think I'm doing a pretty good job though, right?
You're doing an amazing job.
Kilkenny is Irish for Saint Canice, who was a 6th century Irish priest who founded a monastery on this site.
While St. Canice's Cathedral has been an important site of Christian worship since the 6th century, construction on the current cathedral likely began in 1251 and was completed in 1285.
This place is full of history, from its involvement in Dame Alice Kyteler's witchcraft trial to Oliver Cromwell's army damaging the church and stealing the massive bells. There's so many stories here.
We did it. We have made it to every single site on our list.
That is amazing. Good job. I'd have to say Kilkenny, wow, what a fine little city. It was so much fun.
Yes, and St. Canice's Cathedral is stunning.
Oh yeah.
Stunning.
Oh, 800 years old.
We do have to get going now. We've got to
Yeah.
get to Dublin. There's a tea time to get to.
The whole Kilkenny adventure. What do you say?
Oh, thumb up or bump.
Oh, it gets multiple thumb up or bumps. What is... You got to come to Kilkenny.
It's one of the most charming medieval towns in the world. So
Yeah.
get here. All right, now we really have to get going.
Hey.
Tea time. We've got to get to tea time. Got to get to Dublin. Dublin is next. Let's go.